I could just be missing something. I very well could be missing something. The Goncalveses and Shannon Gray might know something that we, the public, are not seeing in this document that we might find out about later. But as of right now, as far as I can tell, this is literally only a change of venue for the trial itself. Hey guys, this is Jules with True Crime Reactions. Disclaimer. Everything stated in this video is my opinion and my opinion only. And just like everything else in these cases we discuss here on this channel, everything is alleged. Okay, so earlier this morning I posted this video. It's a very short, just summary basically of the ending paragraph, the conclusion of Judge's granting of the change of venue motion in the Idaho v. Kohberger case. Now, according to the stipulations in the document itself, the Supreme Court is not only going to be deciding the new venue, but also assigning a new judge for the trial. I don't know where the misconception's coming from. To me, and again, I could be wrong, I'm not a lawyer. I just have a brain that seems to work fairly well, okay? To me, it doesn't say anything about the judge stepping down. And I showed you guys a little bit ago in my community tab a screenshot of something that the Goncalveses posted on the Facebook page about it. And in no way does this state that the judge is stepping down. Now, I could just be missing something. I very well could be missing something. The Goncalveses and Shannon Gray might know something that we, the public, are not seeing in this document that we might find out about later. But as of right now, as far as I can tell, this is literally only a change of venue for the trial itself. We still have motion hearings and other things happening in the case. We have an entire scheduling order on the public case of interest website that still has to continue. I don't really understand it. I don't think that's the case, guys. And I'm not going to try to go round and round and round with it, trying to figure out what it means. To me, very common sense like states, the Supreme Court is changing the venue for the trial and going to be assigning a judge for the trial. It doesn't say anything else about anything leading up to the trial. So again, the Goncalveses and Shannon Gray might know something that we don't see in the public from this document, but I don't see anywhere where it states that he is quote unquote stepping down from anything. So they have put out a statement, and I know that we're going to be going live later on tonight to go over the entire 20 pages of the judge's decision, but I have so many things to do. I decided to just go ahead and do this little update on the family statement now before we get to the live so that we go into the full document with all the information of today already in our brains. So the Goncalves family statement is as follows. The family is incredibly disappointed in the judge's ruling granting the change of venue. The only good thing about this decision is that it will be Judge's last decision in this case. And again, I am not understanding it that way. And it's not just me. There's lawyers and other people on Twitter going back and forth with it too, trying to figure out if that's what it means. I don't think it does, guys. But again, when we finally go through the entire 20 pages tonight, that might change. But I'm just not understanding where they're getting that from what we are reading so far. The family has always felt that Judge favored the defense, and it was a common theme that whatever the defense wanted or needed, they got. That's not true. I know why I understand why they probably feel that way, but that's not true from the people that are actually out here looking at both sides and paying attention to things without, the emotions involved. The written decision is even more informative. If the judge knew Latell County could not handle this trial for safety reasons, not enough court clerks, logistics, and lacking space, why did we waste over a year in a county he knew was not going to handle the trial? Well, that's because that's the county where the crime took place. That's why, right? The points he mentioned didn't all of a sudden jump up and bite him in the rear. Another issue was the poor cross-examination by the state of the defense expert witnesses. You mean the lack of? They didn't supply their own witnesses, and they barely asked any questions. They can definitely blame Bill Thompson for that because they didn't act like they even cared. They had nothing to say. But again, I also mentioned this on Twitter a few minutes ago. Some people are acting like the state didn't want to move it at all, but that's not true because before the defense ever even told us where they might want to move it, Bill Thompson was standing up preaching about moving everything to Nez Perce. So to say the state didn't want it moved is not technically true. They just wanted to argue the defense's argument because the defense didn't have where the state wanted to move it to in their actual motion. They just wanted to have an argument by saying, oh, well, they didn't mention Nez Perce, so we're going to argue back because we want Nez Perce. But in the end, they both didn't want it in Latah County. They didn't. A judge can only rely on the evidence presented, and when you don't properly cross-examine expert witnesses or present any of your own, you are left relying on the opinions of the defense. Okay, but it's not opinions, Shannon, and I know this is you that wrote this because of how this starts. They're not opinions. It was facts, articles, and real proof of things that were apparently online. And you know what? Some of you guys might remember me mentioning something about a lady in a yellow shirt. She commented to me the day before the change of venue hearing that she was going to be in court. I saw her whenever we were live streaming it, and then I had a comment that I believe was from her. I tried to go back and find it after I replied back to it, but I can't find it for the life of me. If I find it, I'll put it in my community post, but I can't find it. I commented back on it this morning. I don't know what happened to it. Anyway, she might have deleted it, honestly. Maybe she thought that she said too much. I don't know. She said in this that she was sitting in the courtroom whenever they closed the session. Remember during the change of venue hearing, whenever they showed like a bunch of YouTube stuff, and then all of a sudden the judge was like, hold up, we're not showing any of this, which I agreed with because the survey didn't have anything to do with social media. They said it themselves. That's not where they got the question information from at all. She told me in the comment that whenever the cameras turned off, the people in the courtroom did not have to leave, and that Ann Taylor continued to show Judge pieces of information based off of what we were seeing, the YouTube stuff, but also pulled up clips of Steve Goncalves talking crap. And that was admissible evidence for part of this change of venue. And that she said it looked like Steve G melted in his chair. I guess whenever that popped up on the big, PowerPoint presentation screen that they were sharing stuff on. So just the simple fact that they're using what Steve is coming out here and publicly doing as part of the evidence that they need to push the change of venue is extremely telling. But I highly doubt that Steve is going to change his behavior. That was just a little side note. Okay, back to the statement. Then let's not forget the massive contradiction of having a University of Idaho employee as an expert witness, Eliza Cover, and at the same time allowing Scott Green, the University of Idaho president, to write a book claiming to be an integral part of your investigation. Why are they so worried about one of the expert witnesses being from the University of Idaho? Are they worried about something with that because they want to sue the University of Idaho like they've been alluding to this entire time? And now I understand their whole thing about Scott Green. I do. He should not have been front and center to any of this because this was an off-campus situation. So for this, I do honestly agree. What I don't understand is why Scott Green thinks he was some sort of integral part of anything. Because again, off campus, and unless you're sitting there trying to hide something, Mr. Green, you're not an integral part of anything. You're just a person who works at a school. This didn't happen at your school. It didn't even happen to people that belonged in the same sorority house. It happened to a bunch of random people who had random lives and random affiliations that just so happened to be renting rooms in the same off-campus, not school-related housing. You were not important to anything besides whatever it was you were trying to keep covered up. And that's just my opinion, but I digress, and let's continue. Finally, what was the point of the non-dissemination order, private hearings, closed-door tactics, allowing the defendant to be dressed in suit for every televised hearing? I am so sick and tired of them harping on that. Get over it. If not to keep the trial in Latah County. As victims' families, you are left to just watch like everyone else, and really you have little rights or say in the process, and at the same time, you are the most vested in the outcome. We have always felt that a fair and impartial jury could be found in Latah County and still believe that is where the trial deserves to be held to help the community heal. Thank you again for all of your support and prayers. The community is not what needs to heal, y'all are. The families of the people that lost their lives are the only people that need to heal. The community does not care as much as y'all think they do. I have people that are locals coming into my comments and telling me that they are going by the Idaho little memorial garden crap thing that they built up there, and there's literally no notes or anything cute whatsoever about any of the victims. There's one that is written to all four, one of them to Maddie and Kaylee together, and that's it. The families were just there. They didn't leave their own cutesy little notes or whatever the hell is supposed to go on over there. They were just doing an interview right in front of the memorial garden, and they didn't leave anything for their child? That's what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like to the people that are going over there and looking at it themselves. So I don't really think this community needs to heal all that much. I think that's a big excuse that people want to use in this arena as A, an excuse for bullshit, and B, an excuse to waste more money. Your community does not need any more tax dollars wasted on this case for any of this so-called healing. No, that's just the most ridiculous thing. It's the families that need to heal. It doesn't need to go past that. The friends and the families. That's literally it. But okay, that's the end of the statement. Now, again, I don't understand where they're getting that this is the last decision that the judge will make in the case. I could be reading it wrong. I could be understanding it incorrectly. Again, it might change whenever we go back through the entire thing tonight on the live and we read the full 20 pages. But it is not alluding to him stepping down prior to trial. It isn't. The Supreme Court might change that, but for right now, that's not the case. Let me know what you guys think about the statement and all of the crazy going on in this crazy misconception happening. What do you guys think is going on? Do y'all think that he's actually stepping down for real, and not going to touch the case ever again? Or is he going to continue to sit through all of the motion hearings that we have coming and nothing's going to change until we actually get to trial? Let me know down in the comments. If you like the way that I present this information and give my opinion, please do not forget to leave a like on your way out. Subscribe to the channel if you were not subscribed already. And please don't forget to make sure that your notification bell is set to all so you don't miss any of my rants, reviews, reactions, case updates, or deep dives. See y'all.